One of the most anticipated releases from the fine folks over at Toontrack has been that of EZKEYS 2. As of last week, I'm happy to announce, and as you all probably already know, EZKEYS 2 has been released, and I must say what a release it is. Anybody who follows my channel knows that I'm a massive fan of the products that the folks at Toontrack put out. What do I use them for? Well, a lot of composing for my own personal music, but as well as composing pieces of music to demo guitar tones. That's what a lot of my channel is based around, whether that be for Line 6 Helix, HX Stomp, Tone X, Amplitude 5. I like to compose pieces of music that will be a good showcase for these guitar tones. One missing piece of the puzzle has always been the ability to put great piano or keyboard tracks in there. Now, I did have EZKEYS 1, but it was a very different layout compared to something like, say, Superior Drummer 3 or EZBass. Well, the wait is over. We now have EZKEYS 2, which really follows a very similar look and workflow as the previous mentioned Superior Drummer 3 and EZBass. And today, we're going to take a look at just what we get and some of the key features and how we can use this, especially from a non-piano or non-keyboard player's point of view. I'm not a keyboard player. I like to be able to create a keyboard track or a piano track with great simplicity to keep my workflow going so I can get on to doing other things within my production and not get slowed down having to wait for a piano track or a keyboard track. So I think a lot of folks that are in the same boat as me are going to really find EZKEYS 2 a fabulous addition to their virtual instrument library. So without further ado, we're going to head over, we're going to look at the plug-in version of EZKEYS 2. We'll take a look at the layout of it, how things work with it, and some of the main features that we could find very useful. But first, we're going to head over to the Toontrack website and just look at what the core library of sounds we get with this. The interesting part is EZKEYS 1 expansion packs will work and load up perfectly fine in EZKEYS 2, and we can take advantage of a lot of the new features within that to utilize some of our old EZKEYS sounds, as I will show today. Let's head over and take a look at what we have. The folks at Toontrack have done a very good job on both their YouTube channel and on their website at putting together nice short videos showing how we can use certain functions of EZKEYS 2. So I would recommend that anybody who wants to learn really quick with some really short little clips, they can actually learn a lot from those videos. But coming over to the website, let's just look here. It says a brand new grand piano. It says a grand piano isn't just iconic in stature and tone, it's an indisputable songwriting staple. EZKEYS 2 comes with an all-new core library featuring a breathtaking instrument captured to offer the broadest possible tonal palette. So what is this instrument? Well, it says it's a carefully captured Fazioli F212 grand piano recorded at RMV Studios, I'm not going to try to pronounce the name, in Stockholm, Sweden. It's a 4 gigabyte multi-sampled sound library recorded on a 64-channel Neve 8068 mixing console, captured using spot mics on hammers and strings, overhead and 2 secondary room ambience mics, adjustable hammer releases and pedal noise controls. So different pedal controls, as well as adjustable MIDI controller velocity response. Again, here, as I mentioned, a great video that shows some facts and features of how they captured the core sound library. There is the piano. It says about the instrument with up to 3 years in the making. Each instrument that is wheeled out of the Fazioli shop in Italy is truly a testament of ultimate dedication to craftsmanship and detail. It gives us some more information here. So that's what we get sound-wise with the core library in EZKEYS. But we'll come over to our actual EZKEYS interface now. So here we are, again, very familiar looking now if you're a user of EZBass or Superior Drummer. Everything looks rather familiar. We have our keys, grooves, grid editor, and Bandmate up here. We have our song track at the bottom. We have our different ability to open up different libraries. And if you notice here, EZKEYS 2 libraries, I have the EZKEYS 2 Session Grand. Now, I am sure that the folks at Toontrack are going to be releasing a lot more expansion packs for EZKEYS, and I welcome that and look very much forward to it. But in the meantime, I also have my EZKEYS 1 libraries. A couple electric pianos, retro clavinet, retro pianette, and the old Studio Grand. And when we click on one of those, it comes up with some beautiful new updated graphics that look really great. And we have some great presets for each of these. So really wonderful stuff. But we're going to focus right now on the EZKEYS 2 Session Grand. So it really sounds fabulous. Now, the interesting part about this is we can come up to the EZKEYS 2 Session Grand and pull down a long list of different presets that we have already. So standard presets, effects presets, pads. So much like in EZBass, we can open the effects panel here, and for each preset, we'll have different controls. Look, we can control the body and brilliance under the EQ, more hall reverb, the size of that reverb. So if I was to pull up just a quick little groove here from the MIDI library, and if I go to EZKEYS 2, I could pick arpeggios. That's the basic sound. Sounds really, really nice. But I could come in here and mess around with. You can really hear the reverb coming out. Add brilliance or body to the sound for that preset. And obviously I can also save these to user presets. I know that's going to be a little off the screen here, but very simple to just save as and save our own presets if we want. But there's a lot of great ones that come with it. Now, depending on what preset we choose, we're going to have different controls. If you notice here on Ballad 1, we have a plate reverb. Ballad 2, we can adjust, again, the plate reverb and the noise. Coming down to blues piano, now we have a room mic, tape, a tape effect, reverb, noise. So a lot of different functions here. I'm not going to go through, I don't want this video to be 4 hours long. I'm not going to go through all of these, but you get the basic idea. We can have whole set of presets with effects. You notice the vinyl noise? Very cool addition. And so just a ton of stuff here that we can utilize. Far mics, close mics, vinyl noise, etc. And then we also have these pads, which I'm guessing are going to be much more lush sounding. So beautiful stuff. If you can't get a sound out of these, at least as a starting point, I don't know what to tell you, but a beautiful sound here. Let's just go back to the basic. Great sounding piano. So that's basically our keys tab. Very similar for anybody who's used to using EZBass or Superior Drummer 3. Moving on to our Grooves tab. As I showed you before here, we have all of our EZKEYS libraries. So because I had owned other EZKEYS 1 packages, I've got all of that MIDI here and all of the add-on packs that I ever had in my library. Now, obviously, I could also come over here and utilize any of the old EZKEYS 1 instruments that I have as well. They sound fabulous. Here's the old Studio Grand. Versus the new Session Grand. Quite an upgrade. What a beautiful sounding piano. So back over to the grooves, we can really choose, depending on the size of our library here, a lot of different possibilities. And of course, we can take these grooves just like we could before, drag them down to our timeline, alter keys, alter chords, to whatever suits our particular song. Very cool stuff. So the really interesting part is they've added in a lot of possibilities here, though, to get us composing. For instance, look at this Suggest Chord tab here. We can actually choose different chords from suggested chords that EZKEYS is giving us so that we can spark new ideas very quickly within our song track down here based off that groove I just chose. So if we didn't like that, we can choose a different one for the last chord. You know, and really effortlessly come up with ideas for our songs. So very, very cool feature. And we can see, depending on the size of our library, we can have a lot of possibilities to get us off the ground and running. Now, if we only did have the EZKEYS 2, you'll notice here what we have is a series of riffs, arpeggios in different time signatures, 3, 4, 4, 4, 6, 8. We have ostinatos, 4, 4, 6, 8, swing 6, 8. We have pads, just bigger held chords in different time signatures. We've got ballads, pop rock, and multiple songs in each of these. Really beautifully played, sounds amazing. We can also go to the original tempo up here to preview them in the original tempo. Much like anybody who's used EZBass, you're going to notice the same sort of thing in Superior Drummer 3 as well. Got hip hop sounds, and on we go. So a really great library to get us started in using EZKEYS. I mean, just endless possibilities here. We also have the tap to find function up here as well. You can record MIDI or click the rhythm. You know, whatever rhythm you click in there, and then you can search and you'll find matching grooves with that same rhythm. Very similar to the rhythm that I tapped in. So that's a great way to quickly find something that might work rhythmically with your song. So very, very cool stuff. Now we move over to the grid editor. You know, we've put some MIDI down here. We move to the grid editor and we see we have some features that are just incredible. Humanize. If I select all my notes, I come over here and I click the humanize. Watch the notes move ever so slightly. So we go from having this sound here just adds a little more human quality to it. We can also have the snap, so we can snap notes to the grid as well. Our resolution as far as where it's going to snap to. We can adjust the timing, quantize. You can see the notes move. We can randomize the notes. We can change the lengths of notes, and we can change whether they're going to swing in each direction as well. So very useful features that I think can come in very handy. We can nudge notes, certain amount of position, and the swing resolution, whether it's going to be doing it with eighth notes, quarter notes, or 16th notes. We can transpose up a semitone, down a semitone, up an octave, down an octave. Very, very cool. Now, highlight keys in scale mode is very interesting because we can snap to a scale so that if we wanted to take a note here, and you'll notice now as I go with my keyboard and move the notes, this is snapping to the C major scale. I could change that to anything I want. C minor. Now, if I move those notes, it's going to snap to the notes of C minor. And you know, I could choose Lydian. It's going to snap to those notes. So it really gets rid of the need even to know the theory behind a lot of this. Not that that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it can help us to be up and running very quickly. We can also have so that it just highlights the note positions of the scale we chose here. You'll notice all the scale notes are in green now, and it's going to easily snap to those. Or to chord notes. So it's highlighting just the chord notes here. Of the selected chord here, you can see D minor 7th and, you know, D, F, A, and C. So we have our D minor 7th. If we were to come over here to A minor, notice it's A, C, and E, so we can snap to just the chord that we've chosen here as well. Here's F. We should have F, A, and C. Of course, perfect, beautiful. Whatever chord we've selected up here, I can go in and extend that. I could make it a major 7th, let's say. And now, you know, this will snap to the F, A, C, and the E. So adding the major 7th in there. So very, very cool tools that we have within the grid editor to really make our editing much quicker, the workflow better, and a much more successful kind of outing when we're composing. So also over here, we have a way to select all the notes. We could go by resolution, choose only all the quarter notes. We could choose all the eighth notes. We could choose only our whole notes. So really neat way to basically choose very quickly if we want to edit certain notes. So if we were to choose all eighth notes, but then come in and exclude offbeats, let's say eighth note offbeats, we now have our selection you see in yellow here, which allows us then to use our keyboard and different tools to actually edit those. So very, very cool stuff, and something that's going to be extremely useful for our composing and our workflow. Now, one of the things that I am most interested in is the Bandmate. And I'm just going to come down here and get rid of the MIDI we have. Now, what we can do here is we can drag audio right into the Bandmate, much like we have in EZDrummer 3. And EZKEYS 2 will recognize either using an EZBass groove, drums. Obviously, drums aren't going to give us the chords we need, but it will give us the rhythmic idea to follow, or just chords from a guitar part, let's say. And if you notice here, it says clean, non-distorted audio gives better results. So we're going to try this with a piece of music that I've already recorded. And we're going to drag something in here, whatever works. The nice thing is, you know, having the ability to use EZBass grooves or chords or audio of any sort is really going to open the possibilities up. Now, there's going to be maybe some, you know, guitar parts that are maybe a little too vague. Maybe they're not giving enough information what the chord actually is. And maybe we would need the EZBass groove to kind of outline the chord. So let's do this. Let's just X out of, and you'll notice that I have a little piece of music here that is utilizing actually EZBass 3. I'm using the amazing Rooms of Hansa vocal booth kit, which is one of my favorites. Really cool, nice dry sounding kit. I have EZBass. I'm using the incredible Americana, EZBass EBX expansion, and I have my EZKEYS that we were just utilizing here. So we've got our Bandmate open. Here is the song as I kind of have it at present. I utilized this to showcase some guitar tones for my Line 6 Helix, and this is from a preset that I have available on the Line 6 Marketplace if we solo the guitars out. Some nice little effects on things. But what if we were to say we want to create more of a piano part for this, and maybe to either complement the guitars or replace them all together? Let's mute our guitars out for now, and we'll just listen to the basic EZBass 3 and EZBass. So what if I was to do this? Let's open up EZBass. I'm just going to pull it off screen for a second. We'll open up EZKEYS as well. And I'm going to simply drag and drop all of my audio or grooves that I have over here up into Bandmate and see what it comes up with. So immediately it's taking this, it has the chord outline here, and it's suggesting a keyboard part to go along with this. Now, if I hit play here, it's suggesting a piano part based off of the chords that I gave it in EZBass. Now I can get rid of my source, which was the bass, and listen to just what it suggested for the piano. Now I can also go through the different ideas it suggested. And I can go to different styles here and see what it suggested. Some of these might not work out very well. And you can see the rhythm match is only 47% here. Reggae just giving me those upbeats. No results for some of them. But regardless of which, I can now take this and I can drag that down onto my timeline to the appropriate position, and then I can stop this and come to our track now and hear how that fits with our drums and bass. Now, obviously, I can choose my groove here and edit it in pretty much any way that I want. We see all of our notes here. We could alter these. We could also come into any chord here using the chord wheel, extend a chord, change bass notes on a chord, use different inversions, change the octave. As I mentioned, the bass note, the different flavor of chord. Like, the sky is really the limit. But very quickly, I have a pretty nice little piano part working here for my piece of music. So I could use that along with the lead guitars to just complete my piece of music. And I could use that as my main part, or I could bring my guitars back in and just use it as a complement. And of course, I can also go in here and change things up. If I didn't like that groove, let's say, I could come over here, choose something completely different, and just drag that down anywhere on my timeline even, and go back to the beginning and hear how that's going to change. And I'll just mute the guitars out. Obviously, a couple of weird little things there that we'd probably want to go edit. Let me just undo that to go back to what we had. But we're not stuck with this MIDI. We can actually select our MIDI down here, choose any other MIDI, and just hit the replace MIDI button instead of dragging and dropping. And then we don't have to save that. We can just listen to how any of these actually work. If I wanted arpeggios, this seems to work quite nicely. Go back to the top. Let's say I like that. I can hit save changes and my MIDI's been replaced now, and it's going to work beautifully for what we have here. So I can then basically get out of that and just be happy with what I have. Now I could also mess around with different libraries. If I want an electric piano instead, so I think we can see just how quickly we can be up and running, adding some really killer keyboard and piano tracks to our existing music, or be up and running with composing ideas and just using this as a source of inspiration to get us up and running, coming up with new and fresh musical ideas. All right, what do you guys think? Obviously, I didn't go through every single feature within EZKEYS 2. It's an extremely deep piece of software, but an extremely useful one, as I think we could all see. It sounds amazing. We can import all our old EZKEYS 1 libraries in MIDI, which is just fabulous. But I think this Bandmate feature and the editing capabilities within our grooves to come up with wonderful musical ideas, really realistic musical ideas with great sound quality, is going to be the real big selling feature, especially for folks like me who are not great piano players but have always wanted this ability to add to our productions. I hope that was enjoyable. If you guys think this is something you want, go down to the Toontrack site. I'll have the link below, and you can grab yourself a copy directly from the Toontrack website. And in the way of full disclosure, the fine folks at Toontrack have not paid me to do this video, but they did send me a copy of EZKEYS 2 for no charge. That's not influencing any of my thoughts about this. I would have just as happily purchased this with my own money because it's a tool that I am going to get endless use out of, and you're going to see a lot on my channel when you're hearing musical demos. This will be in there, along with, as always, a Superior Drummer 3 and EZBass sounds, which is what you always hear whenever you hear me doing any musical examples on my channel. So I hope that was helpful. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please like the video, share it with anybody you think would get some use or enjoyment out of watching it. And also please subscribe to the channel. Hit the little bell notification, get notified when I put new content out. I will be back really soon with some more. Thank you guys again for sharing your time with me. Ciao for now.